mom's daughter, Nancy Nee Hanifin, who was presented to us.
We gathered here to celebrate the life of my father, John Nee, a father, a husband, a brother, the uncle, the grandfather, the cousin, and the friend that we all knew and loved. We were sitting around the other night talking about our family and realized there was never a time when we would gather with my father when he wouldn't implore someone to stand up and tell their joke or story. So now that we're all gathered here today, one last time with him, I'm going to do as he taught me. Stand up. Shh, shh. What was that? May. And tell his story. My father was diagnosed with prostate cancer about 2 years ago. A devastating diagnosis for all of us. Shortly thereafter, though, Mary Jane invited him to, I think, Maddie's school concert. And his reply was, "Of course I'll come. I don't know how many more of these I'll be able to attend." And Mary Jane, ever inquisitive, asked, how was he feeling about that? To which he responded, quite seriously, "Somebody has to show my children and grandchildren how to die with dignity and grace." Quite a statement. But the irony was the near impossibility of making such a statement at the beginning of his illness when you couldn't possibly have known how to do it. The story of my father's life, we thought, might shed some light on how he could say something like that with so much confidence. My father's parents made their way to America from Ireland's shores. I'm sure many of you are aware. In the shadow of the Arnold Arboretum, he grew up on Walter Street in Rossendale. As the oldest child in the new world, he had to break new trails, if you will, for all his 5 siblings, advising them where to go to school, what sports to play, who got the car, what horses to take, all those areas in life that his parents had had no experience. But his advice was not limited to his siblings or his children alone, as many of you could attest. Though difficult to endure, sometimes over and over again, the spirit of his entreaties was truly sincere. He just didn't want you to miss out on anything that life had to offer. Most of you may remember him later in life as a CPA, a CFO, or a president of various companies. His degree from Bentley College of Business and later his BA from Boston College launched him professionally. But much of his wisdom and compassion for others, we think, maybe came from the jobs of his early youth. At 14, he ran an IBM machine processing checks at the First National Bank of Boston, taking a streetcar in from Forest Hills. He sold Coca-Cola at the Orange Bowl in Miami. He was a bellboy at the York Harbor Inn. He packed parachutes in Squantum as a member of the U.S. Naval Reserve. He was a paper boy, a cab driver in Boston, a caddy at Oyster Harbors, the night manager at the Badminton and Tennis Club, a milkman driving the length of Route 6A on Cape Cod, a bartender at the Falmouth Yacht Club, and a summer cop in Hyannis, where he met my mother at the beginning of his 50-year love affair. Many of these choicest jobs that he would scout out, he'd then pass down to his younger brothers. But that's not all he passed on to his siblings. More importantly, he passed on the significance of education. My father was all about education. He saw education not only as the tool for advancement in America, but also as a gift that would enhance one's entire life. He insisted that each of us, his children, acquire a Jesuit education. Well, he made 2 exceptions. The Holy Cross Fathers in Stonehill for Lane, and that full athletic scholarship for PME at St. Mike's. A real education, though, he insisted included philosophy, theology, literature, science, language, and of course, the opportunity to take an accounting course, business. Jan reminded me yesterday that when my father went to Boston College to get his Bachelor of Arts, he had already had his associate's degree in business. He could have just spent 2 more years at BC and received a business degree. But what he did instead, he started from the beginning and spent the full 4 years to acquire his Bachelor of Arts. And Jimmy continued, it meant enrolling in the harder Bachelor of Arts program, which required studying Greek.